You know what would be really great? If this book could make me better about flossing. Hey y'all, my name is Nat. I hope you're having a terrific day today, and for this video we are going to be doing a ARC reading vlog of A Brush with Love by Mazey Eddings. Before we get into anything bookish, however, make sure to hit like and subscribe down below, as well as tell me in the comments, have you read this book? Are you looking forward to this book? Are you just now finding out about it and absolutely want to read it? So yes, this is a possibly new series that might be coming out for ARCs that I receive. This one is A Brush with Love by Mazey Eddings. As I said, I believe it is a rom-com set among a dental school. I think this might be enemies to lovers between a guy who is like a first year at the college, and I think the girl is like top of her class at the end of school. So maybe also kind of an age gap romance. I'm not 100% sure. I do know that this book has anxiety representation in it, which is great, and I believe it is own voices as the author is neurodiverse as well. I think I originally heard about this from 𝗖cie, who writes the Bergman Brothers series. I haven't actually started on that series yet, however I do really want to, and I've heard great things about the author, so I started following her on Instagram. She's very funny and she recommends lots of romance books, which is how I saw this, requested the ARC, and now I am super excited to get into it. I will update you guys whenever I've officially started. Hey guys, so I've officially started into A Brush with Love by Mazey Eddings, and by started into, I mean I've read the first chapter alone, but I went into this expecting it to be enemies to lovers. I don't know why, I don't know where I got that idea, but I really thought it was enemies to lovers. It is not. It does, or at least let me rephrase, it doesn't seem like it's going to be. I think in fact it's more like poor initial introduction, and then I'm pretty sure both of our main characters are going to become friends, and then it's going to be a friends to lovers. So I don't really have anything to comment on thus far, excluding the fact that my expectations going in were wrong, so I don't want you guys to have that same issue. I guess I can say actually that the author did include a few content warnings at the beginning of the book, which I do appreciate. I think it's cool that that's kind of becoming more and more common nowadays. Sometimes they're important, sometimes they're not. Thankfully in this situation I don't think that any of them really spoil anything that's going to be coming up in the book. On top of that, I also think it's really interesting that the author went with a main character who is interested in like oral surgery. I don't know, that's just an occupation I've never seen utilized in a book before, so I thought that was a really interesting way to differentiate the book. Then it pairs so perfectly with the title, so I just think it's absolutely adorable. I also can say that the side best friend character too is freaking hilarious. I am super here for her, and honestly I really hope that this might eventually become a companion novel series and we get a book for her. I've barely spent any time with the woman and I already can tell I love her. Yeah, so that's all I really had to update, but I felt like I needed to when I realized that this is not, in fact, enemies to lovers. Hi guys, I still have not made any additional progress in this book, but I'm giving you an update because I found out that apparently this is going to become a series, currently unnamed, but the second book already has an expected publication date, and I know it's following one of our main characters and this one's best friends, so that gives me hope that my fave side character will get her own eventually. This was just a very fast update that literally had nothing to do with the actual reading experience, but it links with the book. This is just me making excuses for not having actually read anything additional, but making time to update the vlog. Hey guys, so I have officially made more progress into A Brush with Love. At this point, I'm actually at about 36% in. Yes, this definitely is not enemies to lovers. It is certainly friends to lovers. Oh my gosh, guys. I don't see a lot of this because my favorite trope is enemies to lovers, but the mutual pining. It is so cute. It is so precious. It is so wholesome. It is alternating perspectives between Dan and Harper. Also, I don't think I've mentioned that previously, which means we see from both sides that they're absolutely smitten with each other. On top of that, I think Mazey Eddings did a fantastic job of actually creating very in-depth characters, because I think both of them are so realistic apart from one another, which has me invested in each of their own storylines in terms of where their lives are going to go throughout the story. Because I love both of them as individuals, obviously I'm even more invested in the both of them together. They have fantastic chemistry. Anytime they're just in a scene together, I don't know what it is, but I just don't want them to leave one another, because the dialogue, teasing, just the chemistry, the little touches, the way they react to each other. I think I mentioned in the intro that our main character, or our female main character, Harper, has some serious anxiety, and with that, I really like seeing how the author has showcased Harper plans her entire life around her anxiety at different times, which really can impact her in both a good and bad way. But I love that there was a specific scene where we see Harper in her element, doing what she is passionate about, which is oral surgery. And when some guy is being super dismissive and misogynistic towards her, her anxiety does not hold her back from telling that guy off, showcasing that she is a good doctor, she knows what she's talking about, and you are not going to belittle her in the one area of her life that she feels most confident in. And I just, oh my gosh, I loved it. On top of that, Dan is also in that scene, and he automatically wants to come to Harper's defense. We actually see the scene from Dan's perspective, but Harper won't let that happen. She stands up for herself. She does not need Dan to save her. She is the one who is in power in that situation. And I have to praise Mazey Eddings for doing that. This characterization, I love it. Can you tell I'm having a really great time with this book, and I'm only 40% in. Thank God I know somebody else who also received this arc has already finished it, because I have to talk to somebody about my feelings, and I'm trying to keep this video as spoiler-free as possible for you all. But god dang, there's sometimes I need to talk specifics. Also, very, very tiny little side note, literally has nothing to do with the plot, but Harper has a Mancoon as a pet, and I love that for her. I have no idea when I'll update you again, because it was very difficult for me to stop myself and update this vlog before I got too far in. Hey y'all, so full transparency, it has been a hot minute since I've updated this vlog, just because I've been reading other things, but that doesn't mean I'm not enjoying this just as much. I'm actually around 60% now. I was having the most audible reactions reading like the last 3 chapters, between squealing and groaning, laughing, like oh my god, these two are just precious. And I really love the way Eddings is handling situations where our male character wants to be a protective or like be jealous, and yet she doesn't take away from the female character's bodily autonomy. In a specific scene that happened recently, basically just some assholes were being assholes to Harper, and she said her piece, did what she wanted to, she stood up for herself first and foremost, and then she walked away from the situation. And only after she had already de-escalated everything for herself and removed herself from the situation did our male character step in and actually like get a little angry, get physical with the guy. And I love that. I love that she didn't take away from Harper's autonomy and her ability to stand up for herself. Dan doesn't have to protect her, but he wants to. And I really love that distinction here. I adore how it's being handled. It is always written so well. Dan is so in love with Harper, and I'm so here for that. Also, wow, I must say, Eddings' writing of Harper spiraling into an anxiety attack was just fantastic. I think it was very visceral, the way it was handled. I thought she did a fantastic job. Actually, in terms of writing it from an external and an internal point of view, I think she's done a very great job. Even with this being slow moving, there are still these like little just drops of spicy moments, like a little sprinkle to get you back into it, remind you why you're here. And I really enjoy that, but at the same time, it's making me so thirsty for her full smut scenes. Overall, I am loving this author's writing. I am so invested, even though I did take a break for a little bit to focus on some other books. Right when I got back into the story, there was no lag. I just automatically was re-pulled in, and I think I'm just probably having a very hard time imagining that this is going to be less than a 5 stars. because it's amazing. Like, it is so good. That's all I have to say. I have finished spewing my love for now. Hey y'all, so apologies, you're gonna have to deal with my ring light and my glasses because my contacts have been bugging me all day long. So as soon as I got home, those babies got taken out. Also, you guys get the first peek into my changed shelves. Yeah, I rearranged everything. So yep, I'm really feeling it now. I'm like really enjoying this new backdrop. Anyway, so I have finished out A Brush with Love, and okay, like the latter half of this book definitely did kind of have a few things that started to annoy me, I'll admit. But even still, I really love this. I gave it 4.5 stars. Probably like the biggest thing that aggravated me, and honestly, it's so ridiculous that this did because it's a very personal thing. Any other person, I don't think it would annoy them. And then on top of that, I know Harper was only doing this to make an excuse, but she continuously keeps saying that there is no way she and Dan can have a long distance relationship because once she graduates from dental school, she has to go do a residency and she has no idea where that's gonna be. At the beginning of this book, there's like 5 months until she would graduate, and yet she still continues to say, that's not enough of a basis for a long distance relationship. What are you kidding? No, why would you do long distance after 5 months? Josh and I did long distance after a week. I don't want to hear it, especially not in today's day and age. Like, that's such a personal issue, but anytime it got brought up, it annoyed me. It annoyed me a lot. Ignoring that though, this was so cute. I think one of the things I really loved about this the most was the intimacy between both of our main characters. They just felt such a connection, and you could feel their connection as well, which allowed them to share things with one another, which just made them closer on a deeper level. And then it also paired perfectly with the both of them trying to improve themselves as well as develop a relationship. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. That being said, at the very end of the book, the third act conflict which happens, well, it does make absolutely perfect sense for the characters and for the layout of the story and everything that has been built up to this point. It was a little hard to read. From that, we kind of have a time jump which takes place. We're told that the main characters both start to work on themselves and try to improve their mental health, but I really kind of wish we had seen more of that in the actual story. I understand like that is not what this book was, that like it probably would have added 50 more pages if Mazey Eddings did include those parts. Another thing that's not necessarily a negative, I'm gonna say it like it is, but it really isn't. After all of the buildup, all of the tension, all of the little sprinkles of spice, I was really hoping I was gonna get some like A+ smut, and honestly the smut was kind of a letdown. It was a little just underwhelming. Yeah, that's also another thing that's kind of my issue because I've learned I don't really like clean romance. Like, I would want a good amount of spice there, particularly if I've had all of this slow build, which this book did have. One chili pepper worth, honestly, not much more than that. The ending was very cute, was very sweet. There was even an adorable little epilogue that at first I was a little concerned was gonna do a step too far, and then Mazey Eddings kind of like faked you out with it. I appreciated that. That like feels like it could be kind of spoilery, but like at the same time it's really not. I give no specifics at all. So like I said, 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. Thank you to NetGalley for giving me this arc. Thank you to Mazey Eddings. I don't know who the publisher is, but thank you to them too. This was really freaking cute. In terms of other romance books I have read that I think I could put on a similar scale with this, it's probably Emily Henry. Like, definitely. The character work in this was fantastic. The mental health representation was really great. I cannot wait for the next book to come out, and once it does, I'm definitely gonna request that arc as well. So, okay guys, so that is it for today. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. I have all my socials linked in the description if you're interested in keeping up with what I am reading. I come out with videos on Monday and Friday, but until then, I hope you continue to have a terrific day. Love you, bye!